What's happening, Andy? Here I am joined today by Mary Beth Walker of HP. How are you, Mary Beth?
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for asking me, Andy.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Always happy to have people from HP on the show. It is holiday time. It's end of the year. It's Hanukkah. Christmas is coming up. We're doing our end of the year wrap up, and I kind of wanted to just sort of review your year with you, talk about some of the things that went on with HP. We had some big news to share. Before we do that, maybe a little bit of background. Just share with us what do you do for HP, and what's your day to day? How long you been with HP?
Okay, great. So I'm the VP of Channel Strategy for HP. So basically, I wake up every morning and consider what we need to do to make sure that we're the vendor of choice for our partners and that we're doing what we need to make sure that they want to deal with HP, that they like dealing with us, and that, we can create brand preference for them and when they're dealing with their customers. So I've been with HP for about 13 years now. I came from Sun Microsystems before that. And I've got a lot of background in Fortune 500 companies, a lot of global accounts. And then about maybe 6 years ago, my boss said, "Hey, how would you like to do some channel stuff?" And I never had done anything really with the channel. So I jumped at the chance and never looked back. It's just a great, great part of the business to be involved in and just love working with partners.
Well, it's the exciting part of the company, right? I
Mhm.
mean, you've got such a variety of different channels to begin with that you work through, and then the partners are all over the place from, some of the smallest mom and pop shops to some of the biggest companies, that I work with in our world. I mean, we've got some really, really big, half a billion dollar companies that are reselling HP.
Yep.
So, I'm sure you're very familiar with who some of those guys are. Uh, you just had a really, a big Amplify update, and Amplify is your partner program. And I feel like you're the perfect person. Maybe take us through some of that poly news, some of that. I don't know that it all applies specifically to the reseller channel, but it's an overall big move for HP. And let's go through that a little bit, and then I have some other questions. Maybe we'll go and ask you about some other things.
Yeah, sure. So just to start, going back a little, we introduced the first piece of Amplify 3 years ago now. This will be our fourth fiscal year with that program. And we moved from a program that was purely based on performance to one that introduced collaboration and capabilities into the mix. And, we really saw that that's where we needed to go with partners, especially the capabilities aspect of it. So we started back then with the commercial reseller version of the program. We then put out the retail version of the program. And just now in November 1, we put out the distribution version. And when I say version, it's all built on the same common framework, but we optimized it for each one of those types of partners. And we thought that it was really important as we start to look at how we change dealing with the ecosystem, that we have this consistent framework that we can use to take us through time without actually having to change, kind of the fundamentals of what we're doing. So November 1st was our first for all of our partner types, but it was also when we introduced the Poly into the program. We put all of our software, HyperX, and all of the things that we've acquired over the last couple of years into it. And so we call it Amplify for All because it's the first time that all of our partner base is actually working off of the same program.
Well, that's super exciting. So I imagine you must have had, I mean, there's so many different areas with HP, so many different customer contacts that you must have just had a ton of different systems running to run all that. So you
Hmm.
streamlined things, you brought everything down into one platform essentially. Is that what we're calling it, a platform?
Basically, yeah, you could say it's a platform. It's, certainly the framework of what we'll use going forward. And yeah, it has allowed us to really move to a more consistent program worldwide, which is good for a couple of reasons. One is, we have so many more multinational partners who were saying, "Hey, every country that I go to has a different rules of engagement, and like we can't deal with that, and we can't keep up with being paid differently in this country than in this country." And so we wanted to take a lot of that off the table. We consistently work on the easy to do business with piece of, everything we do. And I think one of the interesting things about that, Andy, is that at the same time we want to be easy to do business with, we want to create more flexibility and get away from like one size fits all. And those two things, as you know, are like diametrically opposed. So really trying to figure out what the right balance is between, how much flexibility we can give and what it's actually going to cost from a simplicity and kind of system and process perspective is something that we've really been in tune with and trying to make sure that we're, like I said, striking the right balance there.
Well, it's exciting, and I love how, every year or two we get an update, a new reiteration, a new version, or even module, perhaps some big chunk of Amplify gets updated or it evolves. Maybe that's a better way to look at it. So, it's exciting news, and we'll keep our eye on that, and I'm sure there'll be more coming forward with that in 2024. Looking back on 2023, what are maybe some of the other things that you guys did, HP did, that you were involved with that you were really excited about this year?
So there are a couple things that we've done that are really starting to move into incremental opportunities for the partners that I think are really exciting. One on the commercial side is what we're calling more for more. And this is basically where we've added a booster for partners to be eligible for when they sell across the portfolio. So for instance, if you were just selling PCs before and now you're adding peripherals to that, if you get to a target across the mix of those two things, you get a booster, and it's from $1 that you get that booster. And, so it is incremental opportunity. It's not like we took from another part of the program to, enhance that part of the program. It really is incremental. And so we're really excited about being
So
able to work
just
on
to
it.
stop you there, that in
Mhm.
our world, in the office equipment reseller world, that's, that they've been trying to do this. I've been covering this forever, right? And that's always been the message, is dive deeper in your accounts, right? I mean, you're already in there, and their chances are, if you're serving them well, they're already happy with you. So turn around and look at what else can I sell in that account to this happy customer. And for your opportunity is, maybe it's wide format, maybe it's scanners, maybe it's it could be laptops, PCs, right? So but now all of these additional product portfolios, other that used to be kind of separate, so you're getting credits for these all in one, to your reseller channel, to your reseller, to your company, basically.
Yeah, and so we started with PC services and peripherals. We're in the process of looking how we'll add print in. So that will get added in at some point in FY24, but that's absolutely the concept. And not only is it selling more in, but as we look at the need to really stay involved in the customer engagement for the lifetime of, what we're doing with customers and moving more towards experiences and outcomes, the ability to be able to add things as you go is something that we think will really be important to us, and to the customers moving forward.
Well, I could see, people like, I mean, just look at the way you act in your own life, right? I mean, I am modified and controlled by my airline companies. I will do things. Sometimes I can't imagine some of the things I do, but just for points, right? For the incentives. And if you
Sure.
can get incentives by selling an extra laptop in here, by selling an extra, and down the road, a printer into these accounts, and these credits start building, and you
Absolutely.
start maximizing money across the board from all the different product types, and it's just, that's kind of a nice way for you guys to give back. I think that's there's a lot of upside to that. I can't see any downside, other than it probably costs HP a little bit of money, but to your point, you're winding up with more business out of it. So
Absolutely. It's worth it for
yeah,
sure.
win-win. Win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah.
So let's pick one other thing. What else have you guys worked on? That was exciting. I think that's gonna, next year, that'll be fun to watch. What else did you guys do that
Yeah. So I think one of the other things is, we constantly struggle with all things related to MDF, actually, but we really were getting a lot of issues around how long it takes to actually get paid for a claim. And so what we did was we said, much to your airline comment a minute ago, let's look at the way that airline security kind of works. And if you have, a certain set of background and track record, then you're going to get in a different line for security. And so we said, let's take that same approach for claims. And so what we've done is we've looked at, partners who consistently have given us the right materials on the right time with everything that we need, and said, you know what, they've been doing this for 8 years. So like, why do we go through all of this, and why do we make them go through all of it? So we call it Fast Lane. There's about 500 partners that we're starting with to pilot, how does it go? But the intent is that as soon as they provide us proof of execution, we're going to pay them. And we expect them to still keep all of the records and everything related to that. And once a quarter, we'll go audit them. So they won't know when we're going to come and for what activity. But they're able to really get their payment a lot faster. And we're able to take a lot of the processing requirements off of our team. So again, it's kind of a win-win. It helps us to get to simplicity, to, deal with automation, and create an area that we really are striving to be easier to do business with.
Well, that's a big deal, and especially in our world, that's one of the things that I go to a lot of conferences, yours included, and that's just been over the years one of the things that these resellers have had, problems with as portfolios grow, as layers get added, it just gets more complex, and rebates get thrown in on top of it, and spiffs, and programs and specials, and and a lot of these guys, a lot of these resellers have they physically have somebody on staff whose job is only to deal with the rebates and making sure that they get the money that that they're due for the programs that they're participating in. And it's so complicated. And to actually have somebody whose job it is, it's unfathomable if you think about it, right? I mean, you've got somebody whose whole job it is just to chase paperwork so that you can get paid on the stuff you sold. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I would like for that same person to be able to spend their time instead looking at the data insights that we provide to the partners and how they can actually do better targeting, better campaigns, and create incremental opportunity out of the data insights than to have them working on some administrative paperwork stuff, like you said. So
Yeah.
if they have an extra person on their team, I really want them to be able to change the value that they're able to add for both of us and what they're doing.
Well, that is going to be very welcome to see that roll out, and I'm sure as that expands from 500 to 1,000 to however many you're going to go up to, you will be making a lot of people happy with that program. If assuming it works, and I'm sure knowing HP, it probably works very well. Before I let you go, let's look ahead. Where are we going in 24? What's coming up for HP that you've got your eye on, and what should we be looking forward to?
So in 24, our big thing is going to be growth plays. So we announced November 1 that beginning in May, we'll be doing what we call growth plays. And again, that is incremental opportunity that will be available to some partners based on capabilities. Okay. So if you think of it, it's maybe like an advanced version of specializations with other criteria around it that, so for partners who are investing in capabilities related to services, related to digital platforms on the distribution side, people who are like specialists in the MPS side of the business or other pieces of software, for instance, we want to be able to put together what we're calling growth plays that are specific to them. And what you'll hear us talk about is we want to meet the partner where they are. Okay. So there's going to be some partners who they've been doing transactional business. They love doing it. That's what they're happy doing. And you know what? We need them to keep doing it all day long. But for other partners who are making investments in other capabilities, we want to invest in them. And so we want to be able to take advantage of the capabilities they have, look at where in their stack, HP actually fits, and be able to make available to them growth plays that they'll be able to use for, again, incremental opportunity and benefits. Some of the benefits might be monetary, some might not. So on the commercial side, there's 4 that we've committed to deliver in May. One will be MPS, so we'll look at how we take partners forward. And one of the great things about that, Andy, is that we're decoupling the status in Amplify from the ability to actually be part of that growth play. So right now, if you're a synergy partner in the program, you aren't able to get access to the MPS catalog. In the future, if you have the right capabilities, it doesn't matter whether you're synergy or power, you'll be able to get access. And that really helps us for the guys that are trying to grow, for the companies that aren't one of these big guys up here. We want them to be able to come in and sell those products as much as everybody else. So that I think will be a great one. We're also doing one for software. We're moving our current lifecycle services offerings into the growth play framework. And again, the framework will help us to get partners used to like what growth plays will be about, how they know how to look at them. The fact that we'll start looking at joint business plans for growth plays and opportunities. It just gives us an ability to like work together at a different level to be able to go after incremental opportunity. And then one of the most exciting ones too is the room solutions from the Poly team, and what we're doing there will be the other one that we actually announce in May or launch in May.
Very cool. So it sounds like we got a lot to look forward to, at least in the first quarter of next year, first half. And as this rolls out, how does this roll out to the field? Some of that stuff. How does this? Is it going to be an advertising campaign? Is this just email? We're going to send you an email explaining it to you, or your people going to be out in front of everybody, Tammy Beach and our channel people? Are they going to be at the conferences explaining the updates? How do you get the word out beyond a show like this?
Great question. And that's something that we're working really hard on right now, because one of the things is it's all like it's available to you, but you got to take advantage of it. So yeah, we have to be out there. We have to make sure that Tammy and her team, that all of our PBMs and DBMs are out there and say, hey, you have these capabilities. We created this growth play. We got to work on how you're going to take advantage of it and how it's going to actually help us to grow the business together. So we'll do a lot of advertising. We'll do a lot of sessions and, work at the APC in March to make sure that people know about it. Because we know from talking to partners that they're excited about it, but we need to make sure, because it's there, you have to be able to say, yeah, hello, I'm over here. We want to make sure that you're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's an awareness thing, really. I mean, they
Absolutely.
may know the name, they may hear the announcement, but they may not, take the time to really look and see what's in there. So it's one of these, you just got to keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them until they finally say, oh, that's for me, or I can use that, or that's a component I want to look into. So very exciting news. You guys are going to be it sounds like you're gonna be a little busy coming out of the gate in 2024.
We love it. We like being busy. We
I
like
like when you're
making
busy too.
creating new opportunities.
It keeps me busy too. So I'm very happy to have a good busy HP is good for everybody, I think. So Mary Beth, this was just absolutely just a pleasure having you on. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. Any last shout outs to anybody? Any message for everybody going forward?
I think really looking at new ways of doing business together, looking at where we have created and are creating incremental opportunity is going to be really good for all of us, and looking forward to, changing the way that we do business together to take advantage of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a great holiday season, a happy new year, and we will talk to you soon and see you on the other side of the new year. Take care. Thank you.
Happy holidays to you too. Thanks so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.